afternoon, sir. Good
Oh, afternoon, yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please. So, Puneet, how are you doing today?
I'm good, sir.
You good? And what newspapers did you read today, this morning?
Sir, today I just went through the headlines because I had to come early today. I saw a particular deal. There is a talks between a deal between Association and India. So the talks are on right now for having a free trade deal with all that particular organization, sir.
And
Then I went through the different happenings in Delhi, sir. Right now, there has been a fire outbreak. So a particular investigation, the follow-on story was happening. So I went through that particular information as well. Along with that, few sports news I went through, sir.
so, any important news? You missed out all the important news, that means.
Yes, sir. Early morning I had to come here, so I was not able to read the newspaper.
When you read, no, but where do you read all these fire and sports
These
news?
were available in online platforms, sir. Just the headlines, sir.
So, whatever you got, I mean, the headlines didn't say anything about the farmers' problem or the electoral bonds issue.
Yes, sir. That has been a
Attack on democracy during the mayor's election in Chandigarh, or
Yes, sir. They have been following up issues that was happening.
okay. So you've chosen, Group B services over Group A services. How come?
Yes, sir. I find more in administration, so that's why I put the DAN IPS and DAN IAS before the Group B services, sir.
Okay. So, but don't you think that you won't get an opportunity to rise to the top of the service, because as a Group B officer you'll retire mostly as a maybe a DIG or a director level?
Sir, I believe that my skills, my interest, as well as the intention is more towards the administration. So that's why my preference also after IAS has been those services which is pertaining towards administration, sir. That's why I've chosen those particular services.
Okay. Okay. Now you are a civil engineer. These days, all over the world, there have been earthquakes, and you see so many Earlier, there never used to be many multi-storied buildings, but now high-rises are coming up, and unregulated high-rises are coming up, and they are falling whenever there is an earthquake. Their buildings are crashing and falling. So, as a civil engineer, how do you think a multi-storied building can be retrofitted for earthquake prevention?
So we can, while the designing process is still happening, we can.
No, a building which is already there, how can you retrofit a structure to make it earthquake proof? And it's being done because now people have realized that earthquakes are happening very frequently, and unregulated buildings are there. During their construction, they didn't realize. So now they are retrofitting them everywhere. So how do you retrofit a building?
Sir, there have been multiple examples all over the world where they have retrofitted these particular buildings with respect to earthquake. So we can come up with designs where initially what we can do is through scaffoldings and all, we can certainly design these particular earthquake resistant elements in those particular buildings. So if anything is happening as such, then the damage can be reduced, sir. Because
no, don't go round and round. I want the exact thing. What is it in an earthquake that you want to prevent? And how do you prevent that? What is the force you are dealing with as a civil engineer? Talk in a technical language. What is the force, earthquake force, which you will have to take care of to retrofit a building? And how do you retrofit it?
Sir, I have to read upon this particular.
I have to read up upon this. Yeah, you could have said that earlier. You read about this farmers' agitation going on. So what is the main issue there?
So main issue being the farmers' demand has been to get a legal promise from the government with respect to MSP, sir. So that's a major demand, so that they have a guarantee of the crops which they are growing. And then the counter aspect with respect to the government is that there have been talks that it's not feasible enough for providing legalizing the MSP for all the 23 crops, since it will be a major hit for the fiscal deficit. So right now ongoing talks has been happening between the farmers group as well as the government, sir.
So what happened in those talks?
Right now, yesterday, Sunday evening, there was a particular meeting where the government told that for the next 5 years, NAFED will come and help the farmers with respect to growing of the crops. Along with that, they also came up with multiple alternative solutions for raising the income of farmers.
So what crops did they talk about for these 5 years?
So majorly, sir, along with the cereals, they also talked about the millets as well as the pulses. So these crops, if they consider, they can increase the income of the farmers, sir.
And what happened after that?
So the talk has to be continued. So the farmers have told.
So, you didn't read today's news. So the talks have failed. The farmers have already rejected the demand. So that's why reading the news is very important. Okay, thank you.
Presumably you follow foreign policy issues, foreign relations. Have you heard of a Russian opposition leader who died recently?
Yes, sir.
And do you know his name? Would you know his name?
Sir, Alex Navalny, sir.
Alexei Navalny. Yeah. And what is the allegation that did he die or was he in any other way eliminated? What is the story that is going around?
So according to news reports, there has been allegation on the Russian government that there has been poisoning of the leaders, sir. But this is again according to the news reports. There has been no solid proof with respect to the allegation which has been proved or not. So there has been just an allegation. We have to just see what is the thorough investigation when it will take place, sir.
So you have this Russian leader Putin, right? He has been painted as a monster in the Western media by Western leaders. How would you look at Putin? Do you see him as a monster? Do you see him as a nationalist? Do you see him as a good Russian, perhaps? So how would you assess Putin?
Sir, if you see the history of Vladimir Putin, so he has been a Russian spy as well. So considering his policies and programs with respect to Russia, he has been more of a person who has taken nationalistic programs and decisions rather than a individualistic thing. So the allegations from West as well as the different countries that has been since because of the vested interest, sir. So Putin has been a pro-Russian leader who has taken nationalist policies. So I would not call him a monster or any particular derogatory term with respect to that. I call him a nationalist leader who is doing his job with respect to his country, sir.
Okay. And you've also been monitoring our neighborhood, right? Pakistan elections. So what is the outcome of the elections? And not just in terms of who won and all, but in terms of analysis, what is significant about Pakistan's elections?
So if we consider the Pakistan's election, there has been a mixed results where there has been no clear majority of the winning party also. So there has been 3 political parties which has come up for a coalition, and there is also Imran Khan party leaders who has contested as individuals, and they are also claiming government. So there has been a tussle between these particular parties, and this has been a major test for the people of Pakistan, where democracy has not been able to fulfill properly, sir, because of the alleged rigging of the elections, sir. So this might lead to a coalition or unstable government in our neighborhood, which is not just not suitable for our neighborhood, but also for the whole region, sir.
You don't think it was a setback for the Pakistan army?
The particular
election results?
Yes, sir. According to few news reports, it has been told that the favorite Pakistan leaders have not been able to come up. So it is assumed that it has been a setback to the Pakistan army and the leadership, sir.
Yeah. One last question. I noticed you were editor of a kind of publication or your school or college publication, Gateway, right?
Yes, sir.
So what were the challenges? One can understand a publication at a very commercial level, but when you do a college or educational institutions, periodical, what are the challenges? What challenges did you face?
Yes, sir. Sir, as an student editor in the Gateway magazine, there were multiple challenges with respect to choosing the articles which has to be published, because the Gateway magazine represents our own college. So multiple challenges occurred while choosing the particular article, as well as after that there was a lot of grammatical mistakes where we have to sit and edit the particular articles. So since we received a lot of articles, so choosing particularly 25 to 28 articles was challenging, and editing those particular articles was also a particular bit of challenge. Since student community, we had only 5 members, it was a difficult with respect to HR management, sir.
Right. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Puneet. You can hear me loud and clear? Yes. All right. Now, you would have seen the budget, interim budget, which was presented by the Finance Minister. A lot of emphasis on the capital expenditure. Now, in this kind of scenario, a civil engineer, when India is on the cusp of becoming a developed nation, you would have so many opportunities. Why do you want to come to this generic kind of service?
Yes, sir. Sir, considering after I graduated, there were multiple incidences where when civil services attracted me. So after graduation, since graduation, I'm preparing for UPSC Civil Services examination, and my interest has been towards publishing the society, sir. So as a civil service aspirant as well as civil servant, when I reach over there, so I'll be using my civil engineering knowledge as well to solve multiple urban issues where it comes to traffic, or it may be the town planning, or it may be the sewage board management. So these particular aspects, my technical knowledge will help me in solving these particular problems, sir.
All right. Now, please tell me that how has technology and now AI changed the civil engineering?
Yes, sir. Sir, AI in civil engineering has majorly been able to design. When it comes to designing of the structures, it has been very much simpler nowadays to
What is
design
3D building?
So 3D building a particular technology where a pre-casted structure can be created using the 3D technologies, sir.
Do you use GPS nowadays rather than the old theodolite and chain and tape which we used to use? Do you is the theodolite still used?
No, sir. In the current scenario, it is just taught in the school and college institutions. But in actual field practice, we do not use theodolite or the traditional chain method to measure any particular distance or these particular aspects, sir. So now we are going for more technological aspects where we are considering GPS as well as GIS for considering the construction.
Is being done in government departments also, or only in engineering colleges and big institutions?
Sir, it may be the private or the government. We have come up with a modern approach of construction as well as civil engineering aspects. Since we have to go through and learn the traditional aspects, that's why in multiple curriculum it has been taught, sir.
Now, NCC certificate. Why didn't you join armed forces then? After having passed NCC certificate, you had only to go for interview and you could become an army officer. Why not?
Sir, after I finished my C certificate, I took up graduation as civil engineering because I was not mature enough, or I didn't have access to much of information. So the elders which had suggested me, they told me to pursue engineering, sir. So because of that particular aspect, I was pretty young. I was around 17, 18 years when I had got my C certificate, sir.
Okay, agreed. Now, my last question, Indian Ocean region. What is happening there and what is India doing to counter that?
Sir, one is the major problem is with the Maldives, what India and Maldives at the diplomatic level we are facing. Second has been majorly with the Red Sea aspect, sir, where the Houthi rebels have been attacking the cargo ships in the Red Sea region. So India as a country, what we are doing is we are trying to protect our vessels as well as providing support to the friendly nations with respect to protecting their own vessels also. And also there has been, since the time has come for February, the cyclone season has come. So because of this, we are going for prediction as well as disaster management is one aspect where India is considering and helping the so-called the small territories in small nations in the Indian Ocean, sir.
Thank you, Puneet.
Right. Puneet, you were talking about capital expenditure, right? What was the capital expenditure laid out in this year's budget?
Ma'am, 11.1111, there was a specific number which was...
It's a very unique kind of a number, right. And what is the increase from last year? What was it last year?
Sorry, ma'am.
No? Okay, I mean, because you're a civil engineer, right? So, I mean, do you look at the capital expenditure outlay whenever budget is whenever the budget is released?
Yes, ma'am. Capital expenditure is one of the areas which is very much important for the development of the nation, ma'am. Because capital expenditure involves infrastructure, roadways.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to ask you, but yeah, you tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
How does it help? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in my personal experience also, what I've observed, especially in traveling in Bangalore, connectivity or the road, the design of the road is very much poor. Because of that, leads to very much delayed, takes a lot of time to reach even a smaller place. So I believe that if at all it is increasing the journey time, then the students or the people who are working or the government servants, if they are compromising that particular time, it will not be beneficial for the development of the nation as a whole. So I believe that infrastructure, especially the connectivity, is very much important for development of the nation as well as everyday functioning of the nation.
So that is one. Again, what are the other advantages?
Second advantage, ma'am, when we are building infrastructure, the skill development, especially in the human indicators, human development indicators, will be very much beneficial. So the education, skill development as well as healthcare will be much more built and much more beneficial when they are built. So the citizens of the nations can get the benefits of these particular things. And we have also observed that urban floods is one of the areas which has been happening nowadays. So when we have a efficient sewage treatment as well as water supply, so that will reduce this urban floods phenomenon which is happening nowadays.
All right. What are the core sectors of the economy?
Core sectors majorly being, ma'am, infrastructure, second being banking.
No. There are 8 laid out core sectors, okay? So, can you think of, it's relating to your capital expenditure, okay?
Manufacturing, agriculture,
No, things like steel, cement. Just read up on that, all right?
Sure.
Just read up as to how then these would be benefited, right? Okay, now Karnataka. You spoke about the infrastructure of Bangalore. What is happening to the water position of Bangalore situation?
Ma'am, there has been a rise of water quality issues in Bangalore, especially because of the because of the drought season right now. There has been less of water supply in the main core city. So along with that, there has been lake encroachment around the city, because of which the groundwater level has been decreased. So this has majorly affected the water supply as well as the natural stream flow of the rivers and the streams in the city. So this has led to disaster. What was led to a small minimal problem of water drinking has led to a major disaster right now, where we are witnessing urban floods.
And what is being done about it?
Ma'am, the government has been taking steps for planning the city. Along with Bangalore, the satellite towns around Bangalore, maybe Kengeri or Yelahanka or Biddi. So these particular cities have been making, they are trying to what we can call is anti-migration or
decongesting.
Yeah, decongesting the major city. So because of this, they are also improving the metro connectivity to these particular places, and it has led to reduced number of people settling in Bangalore, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Puneet, very good afternoon. So in the next 2-3 months, elections are up. So what is this one nation, one election prospectus?
Sir, it's a simultaneous conducting of elections in the nation as well as the state level. So government is pursuing for this simultaneous elections, having its own advantages, namely it will reduce the logistic expenditure of conducting the elections. Also the governance aspect as well as the development aspect can be improved when the simultaneous election has been conducted. In the contradictory, what the few of the parties are telling is the regional politics and the regional federalism that will be affected, because it is usually seen that the national government, whichever is the ruling party which has been the national, the way will be such that even in the state party, the regional parties will be affected. So the contradictory aspect of this is the regionalism as well as the federal party at the local level will be affected with respect to simultaneous elections. Sir.
So you mean people make wrong choices?
No, sir, I do not mean to say that they make wrong choices, but it will be more of the national party, since a particular person will be electing the national party or the national, the way will be in such a way that they tend to waive Rather than considering the local aspects, they'll be considering national issues and they'll be voting, sir. At the same time, I also want to mention, sir, wherever the towns or the places where literacy has been increased. So here there has been a particular decision making in such a way that the voters have considered the regional issues in the state government as well as they have differentiated with respect to the national governments.
So exactly. So next one, with respect to civil engineering. So how is this IoT helping the city management?
Sir, Internet of Things is majorly a major aspect in traffic management, sir, where automated traffic signals have been planned. So considering the traffic amount capacity, we have getting IoT in the traffic signals where there is a natural flow of traffic. So one aspect is traffic management, sir. Second aspect majorly being is the water capacity in the dams and reservoirs with respect to the dams and reservoirs capacity. So as soon as any particular reservoir capacity decreases, there has been a particular messages that we cannot release the water to the nearby states. So second aspect is capacity in the water management, sir. Third majorly being in the air quality management, sir, where if it goes above the designated level, then there will be alarm for taking the particular steps by the government, sir. So IoT can be helpful in these three particular aspects, to be in brief, sir.
Okay. And with respect to Karnataka farmers, are they benefiting from MSP?
Sir, MSP has a particular program. It has been region specific. So when it comes to Karnataka, the farmers, they have, especially in the northern part of Karnataka, they have growing rice and majorly the kharif crop of rice, which is a water deficient area. So I believe that if at all MSP is not taken in a major way, the Karnataka farmers can benefit by growing the local crops which are necessity for the region rather than sticking to a particular crop, sir. So to be in a whole, they have not much benefited because of this, and as a whole, the state has been suffered because of growing unscientific crops in the regions.
So especially North Karnataka is known for ragi, millets and other crops. So now why is it like these Karnataka farmers are rallying with Punjab farmers?
So majorly it is for the demand of the MSP crops for the other crops, rather than the cereals which is rice and wheat. It is majorly for jowar, bajra and ragi, where they want to get MSP for these particular crops as well. So when that happens, then they can grow region specific crops in that particular region. So which will help not just the cultural aspect in that particular region, but also the economy of the state in the northern part of the state, sir.
They already are superior and they already have demand. Whether it comes to jowar or bajra or any other forms of these sections, why should they go for MSP?
So what happens in northern Karnataka is the rich farmers, they have the particular dominance over the rice crops. So using irrigation, the farmers are growing the water intensive crops in the northern part. So when we get MSP for the crops which is region specific.
That's what I'm saying. Already there is a demand. They can definitely grow and they can sell in the market, right?
But it will not guarantee the legal aspects, sir, that in terms of, let us say, the market.
You mean it is purely from the agricultural issue and not any political angle related to it?
The political angle, the controversy will be coming up, sir, but the demands of the farmers right now, what they have mentioned is this, sir.
Okay. And one last question. Can you name some technology of ISRO that is used for making agricultural resilient agriculture?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recollect.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck.